for the group as a whole, everybody could touch on it, particularly the ones of y'all that have kids. Um, so like with
Sunshine,
that,
it's all you,
do
my
you
boy.
I mean, Don got kids too, so I want to hear his take and
I
anyone
got
in
a
the chat.
dog.
Well, you still got an opinion too, because I got my opinion on this. So um, so if you are a single parent, let's say for example, you're a woman who's trying to raise your children, and you do need that male figure, or you meet a male figure, um, that could be that male figure for your kids. Do you think the man now or the other parent who is absent should be allowed to have an opinion on that figure who's going to be helping you in that child's life?
That's a good question. Sunshine probably
You
got to
get it? Do you
ask.
understand what I mean? Maybe
Yeah,
I
I
didn't
get it.
explain it right. If it
Well,
made sense.
I think it goes by situation. It's another
I was,
situation.
yeah.
It's another situation
Really?
because my children's parent is completely absent. He couldn't tell
Hmm.
me.
Now,
But
if he was, let's say he wasn't, let's say he was not completely absent, would you value his opinion on who you was with and bring it
absolutely,
into the child's life? Okay,
absolutely.
that's fair. That's fair. So it's the lack, so in other words, if that parent is not there at all, then they should not have any opinion
You
on
ain't put
on
in on this, fool.
right. That's fact.
You sound like
Um,
Smokey.
all right. So Don, what you think? Do you agree that?
um, so you gotta ask that question again, real quick because I kind of probably got some details mixed up. You said you're asking if. Go ahead. Ask it again, real quick. Ask it again.
Okay, yeah. Like say, like for example, let's say, I mean, obviously this is not your situation, but let's say the mother of your child was not in your life and you was a sole parent raising your kids, and you still somewhat had communication with this other parent, but she didn't really contribute to nothing. And then you start bringing someone around and she's like, yo, I don't really like that person. You know what I'm saying? Do you think
Got
she
you.
has
Got
the
you.
right to have that opinion, or
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Got you. I was thinking a different.
because
Okay.
it is
Scenario.
still
But
their child?
yeah.
It
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
still their
Yeah.
children.
Yeah. So with this, if they're absent, no. Like, yeah, I agree with Sunshine. Like, yeah, it don't really matter. Like what you're saying doesn't really matter because I'm doing this myself. You know what I mean? Like, start
Right.
coming around or doing whatever, and then we can that respect could be given. But if you're completely absent, it don't matter. But if there's talk, you still wanna. You don't wanna like dismiss whatever you got going on because what if it's a good thing? You know what I'm saying? What you may have,
Right.
what you
Yeah,
may
of
have,
course you're not going to
you're not gonna
yeah.
completely dismiss it. You can still listen and hear out what this person is saying.
Other right.
You
I
know what
get
I
what you're
mean?
saying.
But I wouldn't completely dismiss what you have going on. Maybe keep it away from your child that you have with this person. You know what I mean? Maybe not
Right.
really bring this person around yet. But
Right. I get what you're saying.
you know what I'm saying? I
Those are
Let
wouldn't
me ask
murky
you this out of
waters
curiosity.
you walking in, though.
say it again.
That's murky waters because you're gonna keep the child away. What happens if it gets serious? Then you're gonna have to revisit this
Yeah,
conversation again.
I mean, and you're definitely gonna have to revisit it at that point. But at that point, if it's getting serious, and you're a good, hopefully you're a good decision maker on the person that you're with. You know what I mean? And you know that this person is like genuinely a good person. You're gonna have to discuss obviously with your child and your child's parent uh, the situation with this person. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't believe you should
Right.
like completely dismiss somebody because your child's father or mother or whatever, however the
Doesn't
situation
approve
rules,
of them
Oh,
doesn't
or
I
approve.
agree,
You
and
know what I
I,
mean?
I want to clarify. I didn't say I would dismiss the person either, just
Yeah,
so
yeah,
we could clarify.
got you. Yeah, yeah,
It was just respecting their
yeah,
feelings
yeah.
and then finding a middle
right.
ground.
Exactly,
But
Right.
exactly.
I
What
wouldn't stop
about
dating somebody
you?
because the other person says something.
Definitely.
Right, of course.
I think,
Question
I
though. So
think,
you
because I've
go
never
ahead. No, go ahead.
been
Go ahead.
in
Go
a
ahead.
sit. I'm sorry, I've never been in a situation like that before because I don't have like a kid necessarily. But I guess I'm paranoid. So like, if you weren't around and there or whatever, you just came out of nowhere and was like, "Hey, I don't know about them." I'd be triggered as hell. Like, why? What's going on? And if I do have good rapport, like with the father of my child, and I'm dating someone and they say something, now my, like, I guess the next question would be like, well, what would the motive of them saying something be? Like, are you trying to rekindle this family and you just want whoever out? Like, or are you expressing genuine concern? Because at
I
that
mean, what
point, I
if I
feel like,
think? Go ahead. No, go ahead. At that point, you feel like.
because I was gonna say at that point, I feel like everybody, is the master of how they want to make their decisions and take their own path. So it's like you're just kind of obtaining knowledge, and at that point, you're making a decision. But I don't think necessarily input if like we're not together and like I'm here, you're there, whether we co-parent, not whatever. I don't think a decision as big as like, do I stop or even hinder what I'm doing because you have an opinion? Because I feel like if it was in any other case, like for any other
Hmm.
topic, it would kind of trace back to like, okay, thanks for your opinion. Because
Right. Right.
what are you gonna do from that? Where do you go from there? Like it's almost like you're the boogeyman. Like I'm living my life perfectly fine. You come just like, hey, don't do that. Like, whoa, hey, what's
I
this?
mean, I think like yeah, if this person's trying to impose on your lifestyle, that's different. But if we're talking strictly, like I don't know, like if say you're a guy and you're dating a stripper and your baby mama's like, I don't want my kid around a stripper. You know what I'm saying? If that's her sole reason, um, what do you do? You know what I mean? Because like obviously you don't have a problem dating a stripper or having a stripper on your kid, but you're the mother of that kid for whatever reason is like, I don't want a stripper around my kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, and
Mm.
that's not something you can't go to people and be like, oh, she crazy because she don't want to strip around her kid. People, you know what I mean? Some people are
Yeah,
gonna be
yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah, you know what I mean? Like, not everybody's gonna. That's not as crazy as like saying, oh, a drug. You know what I mean? But or even that you might be dating somebody who smokes or something and the other parent is like, I don't want my kid around that person because they smoke or they do whatever or they party, you know what I mean? And
Mhm.
I do agree that obviously I wouldn't want to, you can't tell me what to do obviously because you're not with me, but I guess if this is your child you should have some sort of input on who they're around or who's influencing them, if that makes sense.
And I wanna chime in on that. I
Sure.
mean, and Sunshine brought this up, like transparency. Transparency would, definitely I feel like work in this situation because maybe you could be real with your child and say, look, I'm talking to them, I'm getting to know this person, but your
Right.
parent, your father or your mother, whatever, doesn't
Hmm.
necessarily like this person. I don't think they know this person that well, but you know what I'm saying?
Right.
This is what I'm doing with this person, da da da. You know what I'm saying? So that your child understands, you know what I mean? And I know Sunshine said if you don't really introduce this person or really get this person to know that your child right away or however it is, it's a little murky waters, but maybe if you're transparent with your child and they understand the situation. I mean, it's a child, so sometimes child's minds be everywhere. They may not fully understand the situation, but if you can get them to kind of understand it, I mean, I guess that'll be good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right, for sure. Okay, so we got with that. Let's try to segue into something else. Talk about
Word. Y'all covered that,
some
man.
other
That was so